Well, I know Angelique, her degree is in mental health and all that. I'm not a professional in any way, shape, or form. I think a lot of times we kind of go to that route to kind of cover it, which to me is not fair to the people that really do have a situation related to mental health. So if they want to use that as a scapegoat tactic, that to me is bullshit.
This weekend, gun violence erupted across our nation as multiple mass shootings took place across the last several days. Our eyes are on Tops grocery store in Buffalo, New York right now, where an 18-year-old white supremacist opened fire with a legally bought semi-automatic rifle, one of the several weapons on his person at the time, and took the lives of 10 innocent shoppers targeting African Americans. This attack was live streamed via Twitch. Authorities discovered a 180-page manifesto in which the gunman spoke of the Great Replacement conspiracy theory. Now, if you don't know what the Great Replacement conspiracy theory is, it is the belief that was first coined by influential French gay writer Renaud Camus, and that claims that a cabal of global elites are colluding against the white population of Europe to replace them with non-white people of color. President Biden spoke out about the threat of white supremacy recently this week, and let's just take a look at that.
White supremacy is a poison. It's a poison running through it. It really is. I mean, no more. We need to say as clearly and forcefully as we can that the ideology of white supremacy has no place in America. None. Failure for us to not say that, failure in saying that, is going to be complicity. Silence is complicity.
That's a nice speech by our president, but sometimes it's that kind of chalks up to like thoughts and prayers. I want to go to you guys and ask you how you're reacting to this and what do you think needs to be done? First, I want to go to Ivan. Ivan, you're a gun owner, and seeing this, I'm sure you're thinking a lot of things.
I'm thinking a whole lot of things. And quite honestly, unfortunately, the whole supremacy thing was built into America's foundation from Columbus and afterwards. Nothing personal. He didn't discover America. He happened to luck into it. It was always here. His dumb ass just happened to find it and screwed it up since then. Secondly, white supremacy. It really should be called white inferiority because most of the people that have that thought that they're superior are really inferior. They're weak-minded individuals. They're followers. I prefer to call them sheeple because they have no direction on their own. And to kind of wrap that up, because I do have guns, not a problem. And unlike Sheryl Crow, my 45 has nothing to do with a damn record. So believe me, as Kenya Moore would say, don't come for me unless I call for you. I'm calling for your asses, seriously, because I'm not the one. This whole supremacy thing has been going on for way too long. And quite frankly, I'm done with it. So if you need a wake-up call, not a problem. I'm ready to go. But careful what you wish for, because just like you said, you will not replace us, you will not erase us. And quite frankly, I like to eradicate you. So from the mansions to the mobile homes, bring it. I'm here. Just saying.
I also want to just ask you, what do you think about, the whole thing with the mental health? They said he had a mental illness. Does that even
Okay.
how do you feel with them using that rhetoric as being a gun owner?
Well, I know Angelique, her degree is in mental health and all that. I'm not a professional in any way, shape, or form. I think a lot of times we kind of go to that route to kind of cover it, which to me is not fair to the people that really do have a situation related to mental health. So if they want to use that as a scapegoat tactic, that to me is bullshit. You knew what you did when you drove 200 miles from your freaking place of residence to get your ass all the way over there, and you were there earlier asking this woman why she was working in that black neighborhood or something to that effect. I won't quote the exact quote, but why are you working here in this neighborhood with these people? His ass should never have been there to begin with. So I have no sympathy for him. If he goes to jail, when he goes to jail or prison, he better be on 24-hour watch because he will not last long at all. Just saying.
And Angelique, okay, so the first question is like, how are you feeling about this, and what do you think needs to be done? And then you can talk about the mental health. I mean, this is a whole reaction as a whole. How are you feeling?
This is insane to me. Like, yet again, another white shooter goes somewhere with a plan, streams it live, and is put in handcuffs and taken to a jail where they receive 3 meals a day, and they get taken care of And it's just disgusting to me. If this was the other way around, if he was a black shooter in a white neighborhood, he would be buried. His family would be having a funeral. There would be no discussion of what he did. There'd be no discussion of what happened. They would rake his whole entire life through the coals. They would have taken everything he did from the time he was a child to the time of this moment, and they would have put it on display for the world to see. But here, in this instance, we have this gentleman who made a plan, took heavy artillery with him to a grocery store in a predominantly black neighborhood, and went through and specifically only shot people of color. This man took away people's grandparents. He took away their parents. He took away people's futures, people who were expecting. There's no more. And yet he walked outside and put a gun to his neck, and they calmly got him to put his weapon down and arrest him. And I'm not a fan of killing. I wouldn't be here on some blood sport stuff if he had been shot and killed. But I'm not going to lie that I wouldn't say off the cuff, finally, because it's been forever. This is now another situation. First it was a church, now a grocery store. We had schools. How many places are they going to go and kill people and do this plan? Now it's streamed live for people to watch. And when is enough enough? You don't want gun reform. You want to keep your Second Amendment. You want to keep all your rights and your this, that, and the third. But you don't want to do any of the work required to make sure that this shit stops. You keep saying that by empowering the people, it's giving people the power to make a choice, and the choice they make every time is wrong. How many wrong choices do we make until you finally see that it's right? If you want to compare us to the gangbangers, okay, I'll run you one. Those people with unlicensed, unregistered guns do less damage than these individuals who are given the tools to murder people. They have licenses to kill. You've given them to them. I'm infuriated. I'm beyond. I hate repeating myself. I'm beyond myself. I'm in another.
Yeah.
I'm on a whole nother level at
Yeah.
this point. I can't do it anymore. And I think
Of
having
anger.
the president get on there and speak about it in terms of white supremacy being the deal, because this person had a racially profiled background, even the way they talk about him in the paper, even the way they choose their wording to describe the horror that he committed is textbook. It's like they want to put this in a textbook. It's literally textbook. And I'm
Yeah.
appalled. That's the word. Thank you.
I'm appalled as well because I'm fucking angry because my friend of mine had a mental episode, and he was shot by an off-duty police officer, and that part still bothers me, and I'll talk about that later. But this bothers me because you're absolutely right, because they have no problem shooting someone over a traffic ticket, over an air freshener that's hanging illegally. Someone has a fucking warrant, but they have a problem shooting someone with a gun. He just killed people. So you're going to say you don't feel threatened? You don't feel threatened that this man just killed 10 people? It's like the guy in Parkland, that Nicholas guy. He's in fucking jail too. How is he taken in handcuffs after killing 17 people? If that's not a fucking threat to me, that it shouldn't be taken out on site, then I don't know what is. And I'm not sitting there, I'm condoning like, violence or murder, but no, wait, hold on, let me back that shit up. I absolutely condone actions meeting action. If you're going to, because the police, if they want to sit there, because I think the whole thing in 2020 with police brutality, we were talking about the use of force and excessive use of force. And I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, why they didn't shoot this white man, because he's fucking white. Are they a part of it? I want to ask that question, because I don't understand how the police show up with the same type of guns he is and don't shoot the shit out of this nigga, because they didn't have a problem shooting a guy with a machete in California maybe a couple of months ago that ended up killing someone else. Oh, I think 2 other people. I don't understand that. And now this man is going to jail, and he's going to be alive, just like Angelique said. And that's for the president. I love what he had to say, and I'm glad he is saying something. You know, I'm glad he is shining a light that white supremacy in this country is dangerous. And I think that we should keep on talking about it, because I don't think talking about race makes me a racist or anyone else a racist. I think the person who's acting uncomfortable about the conversation of race is a racist. I'm sick of this whole gaslighting bullshit that we have to deal with this country, because you know what? When they were outside protesting Clarence Thomas's house and John Alito during just last week for Roe v. Wade, Congress quickly made a bill to ban protesting outside of people's fucking houses. Or it was no problem for DeSantis to make the white guilt bill, the don't say gay bill, and the trans, girl sports bill. So let's call a fucking duck a duck. That you're not really, are Democrats not taking these actions because they're being seen as too progressive? I think that's bullshit. I think saving lives is more important versus what I look like to other people. Anyone else want to say anything else before we move on? So you know what? We'll be right back. Follow our podcast page, Comic Jersey TV, here on Facebook and YouTube for more conversations on love, sex, relationships, and commentary on the latest trending news. And listen to us on multiple podcast platforms via comicjerseytv.buzzsprout.com.